How are
Can
you?
can you see that?
I guess absolutely great.
Is it backwards or is it the right way?
No, it's the right way actually. It's
Okay.
the right way. Plus, we don't have a background here, so that's perfect. Thank you.
Look at my setup. It's like on stacked on like camera cases and like
If you could see my setup, if you could see mine, it's far from being professional. I'm just telling
Hey,
you.
fantastic. I was so nervous, like maybe I can hide it with my shoulder and they won't know. It'll look like I've set up in a studio someplace.
It's perfect. It's
Okay.
perfect. So, how do you feel today? It's a big day.
So yeah, I got up early. I went and walked my dogs, took a shower, and my wife, I got home. She goes, have you been checking? Have you checked? Have you looked at Twitter? And I was like, not yet. No, I'm trying to just process it. I got to tell you, I don't know how to explain it. It's a strange feeling to live with something for so long. It's like a birth. It's like a pregnancy. You know, we've been 18 months into the process of the show since it started back in 2020, and then we got shut down, and then we came back and we shot for 5 months straight in Vancouver. So to see it finally get thrust upon to the public and basically be born into this world is really surreal. To see the
Yeah.
reaction has been unbelievable. And there's a lot of bandwidth out there. There's a lot of people competing for airwaves, and so for people to come and the reviews and the personal reviews and the comments, and I'm a little bit blown away.
Yeah, and people are waiting for this. I mean, it's become a tradition now to have one of Mike Flanagan's series on Netflix around spooky seasons.
I know.
It's a tradition now.
It's a lot of pressure on him, right? He's got to put one out just about one a year now. So
Yeah, we're waiting for it.
yeah, it's
So,
crazy.
in terms of research, what did you have to do?
That's a really good question. Given the scope of the characters, and I don't know how much you've seen, if you've seen the show,
I've seen it all.
okay, so you know that there's this aging thing that happens, and I read there was a book about an actual place, an island that's off the coast of Virginia, in which is loosely based, at least the setting is based. And so there are some similarities in the characters. There is a mayor on that island. I researched a lot about him, and essentially I just brought some certain elements to the character that I had to sit down with Mike, and a few physicalities that I had some experience with. A friend of my father's, a good friend of my family, was dealing with something, a physical element that I thought was really interesting. And I asked Mike if I could put that into the character, and something that will develop over the course of the 7 episodes. But was super subtle, and we never address it directly in the script at all. Nobody even talks about it. And I just said, Mike, it's going to be something for me as an anchor for Wade, that I need to connect to this character. There's this physicality that I want to do. And he said, buddy, by all means, let's give it a shot, and we shot a couple of takes, and he was like, yeah, all right, keep that. So, you hope that it works. It's terrifying to take these things to screen, and you work on a character. It's unlike any character I've ever played ever.
Yeah.
There's a certain dialect that I researched and I chose, and I hope that you pull it off.
It does. Do you get scared making a show like this? I mean, as an actor, do you feel like you have to feel the fear in order to portray such a character in this kind of atmosphere? How does it work?
Great question. Yeah, do you get scared? It's funny. Some of the things in the show scared the living hell out of me. You do have to conjure up clearly, because you got to remember, in the context of shooting on in a studio with 110 people behind the camera, and you're in a studio and it's make believe. So yes, of course, you are tasked as an actor to conjure up the circumstances in which you're surrounded. I think working with Mike Flanagan, living in Mike Flanagan's world, he does such a great job of creating the world that it's not a big leap as an actor. You don't feel like, oh, here we go, I got to turn on the fear. Mike paints such a beautiful picture. He directs in such a way that everybody is in on the shot. Nobody is confused as to what we're shooting, what we're doing. So in that moment, when we're shooting, Mike has done such a beautiful job of creating the atmosphere that it's sort of organic.
And has it changed your view on death or religion or life, really?
Yeah, it only in so much that it's reinforced a lot of what I have always felt. Mike and I are very similar in that I was also raised Catholic, not just Christian, but Catholic. And I went to Catholic school for 8 years. And that was every Wednesday, church on Sundays with my grandparents. I went to a Catholic high school. A lot of the same subject matter, a lot of the same, the exploration of religion was something that I dealt with as a young child. As you know, in the beginning, you're force-fed this religion and these ideals and these things to believe, and the idea of original sin and guilt and all these things that are compounded on a young child is a lot to take. And as you grow into your adult self, you start to question certain things and you become a little bit more existential. So a lot of these themes that Mike has touched on, they really, they cut deep with me, and they ring true. And what I love what Mike did, and this is what I'm so proud of the piece, is that he doesn't make a statement to either side. He doesn't condemn Christianity or religion or Catholicism per se. He just opens it up for exploration and for examination. But I think he does an excellent job of presenting both sides. And there is a compelling argument to be made in this show for religion. Exactly. And for the understanding that we don't know what life is, and we really don't. And we need religion. We need a deity. We need spiritualism to answer those questions. And I think Mike does a great job of toning the line of without, you know, people don't like to be preached to. And I think that, you know, you don't insult your audience when you present a show like this. You really let the audience do the heavy lifting. And he does a great job with that.
It's true. And you all did such a great job. That's all the time we had. Thank you so much for joining me today. Congratulations. What a great show it was. I absolutely loved it. Thank you. And thank you for the setup as well.
Great. Enjoy.
Perfect. And enjoy the rest of your day and the celebration as well.
I appreciate it.